entirely too kind. Well, thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you for putting up with the heat. I don't think any of us expected it to be upwards of 100 degrees in Colorado, of all places. It's actually hotter here than in Kansas. But, you know, looking out at the shade where everybody is kind of gathered, we have some beautiful people in this audience. And then I look down that hill over there, and I see some of the most disgusting human beings I've seen in my life. But we're not supposed to make fun of them, because that violates Facebook's community standards, so we'll lay off. Well, as Louis said, I am Tom Pappert, and over the last 3 years, I've had the fortune of building the God Emperor Trump Facebook page. People ask what that means. Usually it's your grandma, usually it's a leftist who wants to know what that means. So I usually tell people, well, we are a parody of President Trump's already over-the-top personality. And if it's your grandma, she usually says, oh, okay. But if it's a leftist, I suddenly get, I thought that conservatives like Jesus, how dare you take the Lord's name in vain? They are in an unholy crusade against comedy. They don't like it when we laugh. They don't like it when we share information through laughter. So humor and context especially are totally lost on these people. They don't care about the context of a joke. If I flash one of these, I'm automatically a white supremacist. No other context, no other explanation. Thank you, Louis. You know, we left Kansas and we've still got the wind. But you know, they really do. They think we're Nazis. They think this rally full of beautiful patriots, I see more have gathered in the shade. You guys are doing a great job. I hope you're staying hydrated. They think that this is secretly a meeting of the National German Workers' Party of America, assuming such a thing even exists. And that we just deceptively wrote free speech on the flyers to get people to turn out. Now, ironically, the real Nazis are the ones who are shutting down free speech. I don't need to tell you this, Dinesh D'Souza made an entire movie about it. But ironically, freedom of speech was one of the things that the Nazis hated the most. You know, right next to private gun ownership and capitalism. The Nazis knew that we in the United States, we don't have a First Amendment right to talk about the weather. We don't have it to show our support for the ruling class, for the existing power structures. We have the First Amendment, so when we see a far left protester, a brown shirt screaming at us in the distance, we can call them precisely that. Amen. Yeah! Call them what we all know they are. The new paramilitary wing of the Democrat Party. Amen. Yeah! Now, once public opinion turned against the Ku Klux Klan, they had to switch to these losers, which it's almost hilarious. Sometimes I think all they did was trade in the white robes for black sweatpants. And did you know, by the way, the Southern Poverty Law Center, the same hate group that has a list of bad people, such as the Proud Boys, they have now partnered with Antifa. So what we're now seeing is the Democrats and the left flesh out their totalitarian superstructure. The SPLC allying with Antifa represents the legal arm of the Democrat Party, the Southern Poverty Law Center, working in lockstep with the paramilitary arm of the Democrat Party, Antifa. Yeah. And of course, we've all seen the CNN clips where their best and brightest anchors say that Antifa is, well, they're anti-fascist, so they can't be the bad guys, right? And they've also, by the way, convinced themselves that Antifa is a primarily African-American person of color movement. I don't know if they don't look under the masks, but these guys are whiter than me. Now, really, folks, this all just means that the mainstream media, just like Antifa is the paramilitary wing, just like the Southern Poverty Law Center is the legal wing, the media is just the PR wing of the Democrat Party. And it's not like these groups are exactly hiding their collusion. For example, this is what the SPLC says about the Proud Boys. I thought this was interesting. So, the Proud Boys, well, you see, their disavowals of bigotry are bellied by their actions. You see, rank and file Proud Boys and leaders regularly sprout white nationalist memes. Yes, that's right, memes. And maintain relations with known extremists. Like Milo Yiannopoulos, apparently. I guess he's a known extremist, homosexual Jewish man. Known extremist. So that's right, folks. It doesn't matter how many times you say you're not a racist, how diverse your movement is, how many different people you have. And by the way, this event is organized by what I think CNN would call a white Hispanic, Louis? A white Hispanic, that's right. So it doesn't matter how many times, it doesn't matter who you have involved, it doesn't matter that some of the faces are, I mean, this is not a white movement, this is just crazy. It's nonsensical. So it doesn't matter if they don't have any evidence, don't like the Proud Boys, just say they post Nazi memes and bing bong bing. They're now non-persons who can be pepper sprayed and beaten with clubs. One today had his skull cracked open, I've heard. And they can have their professional and personal lives destroyed. Now, and that to me is the most frustrating part of this ridiculous paradigm we're now living under. The left can lie about us, they can slander us, they can say and write anything they want with absolutely no repercussions. The most we on the right can do is threaten to sue and go get a lawyer to send a nice lawyer letter, and it costs you a small fortune, and then you get to spend the next 5 years complaining that people called you a Nazi. It's not exactly a winning fight. In other words, the SPLC, it has freedom of speech. It has a First Amendment. They don't get censored online or elsewhere. They're protected by their friends in big tech and on Capitol Hill and the media and the SPLC. Now, we're supposed to have a First Amendment right, but big tech, well, they don't see us as people. Our opinions are invalid. And the Republicans in Washington, well, they're just as eager to get rid of us wacko birds, as the late John McCain said, as the left. So call Gavin and the Proud Boys Nazis. Their Twitter accounts just get suspended. It's as simple as that. Gavin can no longer respond to the lies about him told on social media, specifically Twitter, which Jack Dorsey personally considers to be a public square. So it's freedom of speech, except for people that Jack Dorsey doesn't like. And of course, then you have the test case, Alex Jones and InfoWars. All you have to do, you see, is just say that Alex Jones is a transphobe. Say he was mean to a trans kid, and post a totally unrelated video as evidence. All you have to do, and then Alex Jones is taken off of Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, LinkedIn, and virtually everything else within minutes, if not hours. Jones can no longer respond to the lies told about him on social media, the public square. So this is the new game. They cry out, oppression, as they strike us down. You know, the left, they love to tell us that Trump is attacking the media. He's going to hurt the poor CNN anchors. He's going to hurt the media. He's destroying the First Amendment. They often like to tell us that he is going to compromise the future of our democracy, which, of course, they're not smart enough to know this is a republic. But we should not expect much of our friends on the left. So what exactly do they say Trump is doing that represents these grave assaults on our nation? Well, he's calling them fake news. He's attacking their reliance on anonymous sources. He is simply pointing out the fact that the media is using their First Amendment rights to paint a negative picture of the president, the country, and the populist uprising that spans the globe, or flat earth if you prefer. So President Trump's attacking the media by calling them names. All right, fine. Say we concede that point to you, leftists. I don't really see the severity of the attack, but for argument's sake, we'll let you have this one. Where is your outrage over big tech, who we now know from the Google tape are essentially the IT support arm of the Democrat Party? Where is the outrage to them blatantly and openly censoring conservatives? It doesn't exist. There is no such outrage. There's never going to be one. It's about points to them. Since 2016, major conservative websites you would know have lost 93% of their traffic. We no longer have a voice. We've been depersoned. We've been dehumanized. We are others. And as a result, major companies, they're going bankrupt. They might have had 200 employees in 2016 covering the president, or his election, I should say, covering congressional candidates, and now it's one guy desperately trying to keep his head above water as his once great company fails. And I'm talking about names you would recognize, by the way. The shadow ban, economically crippling as it was just the first step. And then, of course, what they did to Alex Jones, Gavin McInnes, that was the next step. Now, what we're here today to fight, I think, internet censorship, we don't want it to go to the last step. They're going to use the structures they have created to totally remove us from the economic sphere. And they've been toying with this for years now. Personally, I've been taken off of Facebook 6 times, and each time I just say, hey guys, did you know I'm not actually a racist? Yeah, I don't hate anybody. And then they've given the page back. Of course, now we live in a brave new world where facts don't matter. We live in a post-truth society. And of course, Facebook would give me a non-apology saying it was due to an error and it was restored. Now that was, of course, phase one. The shadow ban, they would toy with us, they would make us feel unwelcome. Now, they're taking people down for no reason, no evidence. And some are seeming to acclimate to this. Alex Jones, by all accounts, is doing great. Gavin McInnes, his numbers are exploding. More people are checking out his podcast than ever. We have over 100 people here today, Denver, Colorado, to protest against these people. This is a rallying cry. I think it's backfiring just a little bit. But they know that. They know this is going to backfire, and that's why the final step is total and complete economic ostracism. If you don't believe me, look at what's happening to Robert Spencer. That's not Richard Media. That's not Richard Fake News. Robert Spencer. Of course, the Jewish man runs jihadwatch.org, which is simply a website that lists each and every example of radical Islamic terrorism in the world. Well, you see, MasterCard decided that that is not fit for the internet. MasterCard decided that Robert Spencer, a Jewish nerd, doesn't get to be on the internet, so he no longer gets to make money. They took down his Patreon, saying, well, MasterCard doesn't like you, and MasterCard won't do business with you, and if Patreon does business with you, then MasterCard won't do business with Patreon. They've totally economically ostracized this guy. What's going to happen when we're not just getting 30-day bans on Facebook? What's going to happen when we're not just having our companies destroyed, but when maybe you posted an offensive meme back in 2015 and suddenly your bank won't give you a mortgage on a house? What's going to happen then? So this is the new paradigm, and as it escalates, the options will be to capitulate or just face the very real threat of being economically cut off from the planet. And it is a strange times when conservatives have to make the argument that our freedom of speech matters, our economic well-being matters. And to my friends in Antifa waving the flags across the hill, our lives matter.
Yeah!
It's really a strange time when conservatives are making this argument, and it sounds radical. I didn't know that I would live in that. So many people want to know the way forward. What the hell are we going to do to stop this dystopia from advancing? Alex Jones asks everybody he has on his show that exact question. Gavin McInnes plays the punk band, banned from the pubs that you heard as I walked on stage, and says, well, we're just the new punk rock. Well, Gavin, I do say I love being the punk rock, I love being the new counterculture, but I'm not looking forward to having to eat out of dumpsters. That personally, that bothers me just a little bit. So, what do we do to stop this? Well, I'm not going to give the easy answer, or I am going to give the easy answer perhaps. And maybe it's a cop-out, but I think doing things like we're doing right now today, hundreds of people gathering in protest, going live to many more, showing that we're not going to stand up for that. We're not going to lie down and take this. We are going to stand up for the rights we have in our Constitution. We are not going to let cartel-like big tech monopolies determine our free speech. So if they want to kick us out of the artificial fourth dimension they've created, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, etc., well, bad news, guys. We know how to organize in real life. So, we're just going to put a face to the persecuted and the oppressed. We're going to steal their thunder because they no longer get to have that title. We're going to take the message to the streets and completely peacefully and defensively show these people we will not be bullied and silenced into submission.
Yeah!
If these rabid leftists in the Democrat Party and their friends in the paramilitary arm, the legal arm, the tech support arm, and the PR arm of the Democrat Party want to take the food out of our mouths, of Louis' mouths, of his children's mouths, then they're going to have to look us in the eyes and tell us that we deserve to die. That's the secret, and they know it. That's why the paramilitary and PR arms of the Democrat Party are out here today, to intimidate us and lie about us. We've had people already taken out of here, I'm guessing on stretchers, with their blood streaming out of their heads, simply for showing up to a rally in support of free speech. They're anti-free speech. They're anti-Constitution. They are the oppressors. We're now the victims. I, for one, think we should capitalize on this. So while we wait on our friends in Washington and the Trump administration to connect the dots and finally act, finally sign these executive orders, well, we can act right here and now. We can spread the message with a smile, a handshake, and a beer. We can be civil, we can be smart, we can be effective, and they know it, and they're scared. So let's win this thing. Thank you, I'm Tom Papper. And this is my very papery speech.
Thank you so much, Tom. You killed it, man. A round of applause for Tom Papert, ladies and gentlemen. That was fire. Wow. Yeah! I wish I could articulate some of my thoughts that well. That was beautiful. Thank you so much.